Cowersey.
Yeah, we're gonna do that stuff. You know, eventually.
Well, it shows we're live already.
Yeah, we should be.
Oh,
In theory.
We'll give it 10 seconds till I see the
10
first.
seconds.
Let's see our TQs. I don't see anybody on yet.
Yeah, let's see if they can be.
There it is, Taylor DeLosa.
Ah,
Toby's boring me already.
yeah, he made this really boring post about building his diff. So he's thinking he went live, and I clicked on it, and I was like, before I'd even saw any of it.
Well, welcome everybody. Episode 43. Not a huge agenda tonight. We're actually going to go. We're all going on a win tonight. We've decided to make this interactive with all you guys that are out there. Toby, Vin, and myself just kind of catching up. We've tried to do this the last 2 weeks, but schedules just haven't worked out for one reason or another. But I'm looking forward to catching up with everybody. So this will be just a good hangout session. Before I go around the horn, just a shout out to Adam Drake, who was our guest last time out. Adam, thank you. Was awesome having you on the show. Shared a ton of knowledge. Would love to kept you here for probably 12 more hours to keep picking your brain, but appreciate you taking the time to join us. If you guys haven't had a chance, Adam just dropped some new stuff on YouTube on his channel for comparing when you should change shock springs compared to shock oils and things like that. Really good stuff. A lot of information on there. So encourage everybody to take a look at it. But as looks like Toby's getting a few things done. Vin, what's going on in your world, buddy?
Oh man, yeah, it's been
our major preparation. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I'll start with Dylan. So Dylan started working at Hanover Power Sports, one of our sponsors, and we walked in there, and he was like, "Hey, we need help. You want to come in next week?" And Dylan was like, "All right." And now he's a parts guy. So if anybody needs parts for any motorcycles, just go see Dylan behind the parts counter at Hanover Power Sports on Route 10 in Hanover, New Jersey.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. In fact, we were already one of my buddies who actually used to work the parts counter when I used to sell bikes. He has a track day organization called Track Social. Okay, his name is Mike, and Mike's a really good guy. And he just invited me today to a track day. And I found out we're going to actually represent Hanover Power Sports there on August 23rd and 24th. So if anyone wants to do a track day, if you have a track bike and you want to go hit NJMP, I believe we're going to be on Thunderbolt on the 23rd and the 24th. And Dylan and I will be there. It's a Monday and a Tuesday. So plan it out. And if you need anything, shoot me a message. And yeah, get your bikes and your suits ready. Let's go.
Sweet.
But yeah, so that was pretty exciting. What else is going on? Dude, SpaceX hit 108 today.
nice.
You know, that's anyone in the know, like that's a great deal right there, I think. But you know, it's volatile stock. Let's see where it goes. But
I think I put an order in for 100, so we'll see if it happens.
Nice. Yeah, I put a couple orders in myself. So you know, you always want to buy low, sell high kind of thing. But you know, we're not responsible for any stock tips or anything like that. You know,
God no, don't follow anything.
Well, I was gonna buy it. I was gonna buy it early, but then I heard Toby's son's working there, and I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah, you're like,
actually, that's all the more reason too. I got the inside skinny on what's going on. Like,
I can't say anything.
Not going up, man. They'll just sell off.
He sent me a little video because they were standing by the launch outside of Starbase, and he's like, "You can't show this to anyone." I'm like, "All right, sure," but he was like right there watching this thing take off. It's freaking incredible.
Cool.
Wow.
So cool. Yeah, but I believe that last launch was a success.
Yeah, 13. It was near on perfect, and the actual Starship itself landed in the ocean as planned. And the last couple of times it's landed, you know, it lands vertically and then flips over, and then it explodes, which apparently is what they wanted to do. It's supposedly normal because it's based on, you know, the excess methane that's in it. But this time it keeled over and a little bit of flames, and then it's still there apparently, just in the sea, just hanging out. So they're not sure what they're going to do with it right now because I don't necessarily know they can recover, but it's giving them a lot of information because they can actually see all the tiles as they were when they came, you know, when it went through the atmosphere and everything. So
yeah,
it's pretty wild.
That is really cool. Really cool.
I'm hoping they send up 14 in the next month or two and go over there and watch it, hopefully with me, my own 4 eyes.
Yeah, it'd be cool to go down. I know I always wanted to go down to do it, but I know if I go down there, the damn thing's going to get scrubbed for weather or something crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was the third attempt. First one was scrubbed because 4 engines didn't start, and then the second one was weather, but it was only Thursday, so then it went Friday. So it's pretty sweet.
You've got a good excuse to go down. You can see your boy while you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you guys have heard. My uncle always writes down the new language that we're using for things. And unfortunately, now when rockets do have a mishap on the launch pad and they blow up, it's no longer called blowing up. It's unscheduled rapid disassembly, they call it.
Yeah,
my car does that quite often.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I've seen some RC cars do that as well. Now we have.
Well, real quick before we Tobe, I want to talk to you, just if you guys, just so we don't get too far out of whack here. A few people want to say hello to Austin Aikens. Welcome. Brock Garris is on. Dennis Storty. Gary Terry, I haven't seen him in a while. Joe Bowler, Big Joe. Mike Malone's on. Vic Alvario. Jam and Jeff Jones. Eric Polanco. Eric got to see a few days ago at one of the races. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Kendrick's on. So what's up, gentlemen?
Howdy ho.
Tobe, how about you? I mean, I got Vin's update. I know you've been doing some travel. You were out. I just saw you were out. What, in Denver?
Yep. Yeah, last 3 weekends in a row I've been on the road. So I guess 2 weeks ago was the LCRC Academy. I just went out there to do media stuff. I didn't bring any of my cars or anything, so that was a fun weekend watching everybody else do fun things, and I just kind of sat around with cameras and stuff. But always a fun time being there, home away from home and all that. Then the weekend after that was going back there for Protec Super Cup. That was not so super, but sort of cuppy. We had lots of shitty weather on Saturday, so we those probably you don't know, but most people probably do. We got a lot of rain on the Saturday. We had to skip the Super Cup round, so we just did one qualifier and then went to the mains on Sunday. But at least we got full mains on Sunday, so that was a good time.
Sure as hell wasn't for a lack of efforts. I turned it on a few times on TV. I mean, they were out sawdusting and doing everything they can to keep things going. And we've had a little bit of rain this year, but we've pretty much gotten everything in. Yeah. It sucks when it happens. It's unfortunate, but it's summertime, and I'll give kudos to Kevin and the Turn 2 crew and all the guys that volunteered that get that place up and running. They've had to do, I think, pretty much every race this year. Like, there's been some time they've had to put sawdust on the track. And,
I mean, it works out being a better racing service by the time Sunday comes in. It was really nicely grooved up. But we Thursday and Friday was pretty wild because Kevin didn't want to water the track for whatever reason. Maybe because he knew that the whole thing was going to reset on Saturday with the rain. So he just ran the track dry and they just watered the edges. And it was really a lot of fun, actually, just running on that surface, because it was like pretty much any tire worked. Everyone was just destroying tires, running in slicks and everything. So
even A2s were coming off bald after 15 minutes. It was you could basically burn up any old tire you wanted. But like you said, man, hats off to the crew, because it takes a lot. And we volunteered. Aiden volunteered a little bit. I volunteered a little bit. Many others volunteered a lot more. And I was sore. after all that sawdust and everything else. And like those guys really put forth an effort like you wouldn't believe, because I mean, I only did a little bit and I was sore, and like those guys, really kept us going. It's unlike any other place, man. I don't know any place that would put that much effort. If you know.
Hey, I'm gonna keep bullshitting, but I should quickly play a couple of ads here. And one thing we should have said was at the beginning was this podcast is brought to you by our what do you want to call it? Premier sponsor, Park Lane. So we're just gonna quickly run the ad. It's actually a good segue into this past weekend. So Park Lane was sponsor actually for a race that I was just involved with down in at 52 8-way, 52 8-way, 5280 gateway, 52 8-way, 5280 raceway, and I haven't even been drinking. So I've been involved in this 28 scale racing now for a little bit, last, I guess, year. And there's an organization called 28 SRA, which is kind of like a sort of a standards body, not like raw, not sort of restrictive, but just to kind of govern and create international kind of rule sets. So they've had a 3-race series this year called the Grand Prix, and it's the first one was in Vegas, my first trip to Vegas, first time traveling for media gear. That was, I think, April. Which was wild. And then this past weekend, same thing. Flew out to Denver, Lakewood in Colorado, and super successful event. Slightly less entries, but kind of hit the targets. And there's quite a few people that came from Vegas to do round 2, and will be coming to round 3, which is in Connecticut at RC Madness the last weekend of September. So it's been a lot of fun. 3 weeks on the road, I guess, and this Friday I'm going over the pond to the UK.
Sweet. Wow.
Yeah.
Busy man. Getting your airline miles lined up, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Well, a few more guys jumped on real quick. Mark Baldwin. I said Mark's name before. Let's see. No, I didn't say Mark's name. So Mark's on. I know Joe Bowler. Joe, we're going to talk Academy shortly, Joe, because I sent you a message on Facebook to ask you how it was going. You ghosted me, so I'm a little disappointed, but we'll get a little conversation going on. But one comment that came through, just I doubt he's watching because he's got his hands full. But Corey Kimball, I think you guys know Corey, just had his first daughter, baby girl. So congratulations, Corey and his wife. That's awesome. So good stuff. My world, haven't been able to do a ton of racing, just things at home going on. But I did have another granddaughter, so kind of excited for that. Absolutely excited for that. Number 3 in 18 months. So I'm looking forward to having some racing pals in a few more years. They're going to learn to turn the wrenches on their own cars though, because I'm not giving it up just yet. But good stuff there. What do you want to? Well, before we jump into the clinic, Toby, let me ask you, because I saw you putting together some really cool data. And you said, is there a 46 RC app, or was that just a change in the verbiage? Because I know you're gathering some data on the different types of chassis that are out there, and classes really cool. I love that stuff. I'm a nerd, so
yeah. So been doing a lot of work with trying to improve my graphics on the streams, which is something I've been sort of semi wrestling with for a while. But I'm really, I've been in IT for 30 plus years, but I'm not kind of like a front end person or whatever. I'm more of a geek who works in the back office with databases. So been working on that. I wanted to kind of align myself a little bit more with some of the, the really good guys like Elite and Mod, and get headshots so we can start, showing people, when we click on, following the leader, hit the button, and you see, whoever driver is, his little face will show up. So I got that working at the last race, Super Cup, but the participation was pretty lousy. We're trying to make it sort of self-service because Krista didn't want to deal with it in the shop. So, I've written a little app basically that everyone can just basically scan a QR code and then basically upload their own selfie. Then it goes somewhere on the back end and I can grab it and edit it and, get rid of all the dick pics, that kind of thing. But one thing in the, in the screen is that, and I've actually adapted it since then is, you put your name in, obviously, hometown, state, and then pick a chassis. So I have all the chassis in there now. So, you're whatever, me and my Kyosho, you can put your sponsors in there if you want. And then obviously take a picture, then you hit send, and then I get all that data. So then afterwards I can run some scripts and then scan all the files that I've uploaded, and then I'm able to produce that data. So it's kind of cool, sort of making it sort of self-service. Everyone can kind of give me the data, and then as I seem fit, I can I can sell it off to other companies and get rich.
Tons of in the RC industry
Yeah.
for that, I'm sure.
Actually, it sounds really cool. And if what did you say? Like only 38% of us used it.
Like 36% out of
Yeah.
160 entries. So we got to work on that.
So guys, get in on it and take your picture, put your sponsor info on there, and let's participate so we can get some good feedback on at least the stats.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was-
thinking of like, encouraging people, maybe like everybody who does their headshots at Buchan Challenge, I'll put them in for a waffle and waffle something off. That way they're, there's not just some incentive to do it.
Get it going.
Bottle of Jameson's or something.
There's a good radio show I listen to in the morning, Preston and Steve out of Philadelphia here. And the one guy, Casey, every year, every 4 years, I guess, they redo their license in Pennsylvania, and he goes all out for his driver's license photos and does the craziest, wackiest things. So I had to start letting my hair grow and black out a tooth or something for my headshot that I send in for the 46 RC app there. Have a good time with it. You ever get bored, look up Casey Boy WMR driver's license photos. He's done some hilarious ones. Probably gets out of a lot of tickets too, because every time I see him, I laugh.
That's awesome, Brock.
Takes a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Baldwin. Yeah, that's kind of what I know. That's for the way that Mod and Danny do it at hit their events. We're just sort of like switching up a little bit. We're grabbing the pictures in kind of like a hobby store environment. It's if you've probably been in LCRC during the mornings on race weekend, it gets a little insane in there. So people trying to sign up, people trying to do retail sales, asking questions, people coming off the street, deciding they want to buy a Traxxas car, not sure which. So it gets real crazy in there. So, stopping and taking pictures of everybody was, there was some concerns about that. So this was kind of like a good way of making it a little easier. People can do it kind of on their own. But unfortunately, a lot of people didn't do it on their own. So, we'll work on it, make it better. All the people who put their pictures in the last race will be okay. So we'll go after the people who didn't, and eventually, we'll get a full set, and that'll just be a case of just adding as we go.
Cool. But it looks good. When you do the media, Tobe, it keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. I'm definitely kind of on the right path now in terms of setting my goals. So trying to kind of come up with some of my own things along the way as well. I have a couple of ideas I'm working on. So, but some of this data gathering is definitely going to be, I think it's going to be able to switch it up a little bit.
Well, for someone that missed the last two LCRC races and was Jones, and I watched almost not all the qualifying, but all the mains. Just had the TV on in the background all day. I appreciate you doing it. I certainly enjoyed it.
Nice, Dennis.
Hallbaker in the house. What's up, Garrett?
I'll throw you guys' names in for the waffle if you have uploaded pictures anyway. So you'll be good.
Cool. Well, Vin, why don't we? If you guys are cool, I don't really have much of a order here, but I'd love to jump into the clinic because I noticed Joe brought it up. Excuse me, and I heard a lot of good feedback on it, so I'm excited to be curious, from your guys' take from being there.
Well, first
I asked a lot of racers the same thing. Do you feel like was the driving that helped you, or the?
Hey Vin, before you get going, and you're probably going to talk about cow stuff too. Let's just run that cow ad real quick, just to
sure.
Put that in the back of people's minds. So
I'll go for two.
Yeah, Cow RC have been a big friend to us for a couple of years now. So let's get out there and support them. They have some awesome products. We normally cover one product per show, but as we literally joined this call maybe 30 seconds before we went live, I don't have anything to show, but let's take a quick look at their video and check them out.
Cow RC is your one-stop shop for all things RC maintenance, carrying everything you need to keep your vehicles looking good and performing at their best. From MooClean part and chassis wash that's gentle on your RC's components, to jet air blasters that eliminate the need to carry those large and noisy air compressors, Cow RC has you covered. Even down to our convenient hide wipes that keep hands and other surfaces clean. Moose-Lick silicone, oil, and grease sprays, along with Utter Butter grease, and a variety of work mats are all staples of Cow RC's wide range of products. Be sure to use the following discount code to save on your next purchase.
Alrighty. So yeah, like I said, if you want to get 10%, use the NERP discount code, and we have an affiliate link as well, which is somewhere on the Facebook page. I'll repost it as I do most times, and it helps us and helps you. So all right, sorry, Vin, carry on, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Well, the first thing I wanted to do was thank our friends at LCRC, because for this academy to happen, you know, like it takes a lot. And they had like 3 events in a row. So it was like the academy, then it was the Pro Tech Cup, and then they just had the oval race, the Dream, I believe it's called. So like to do that, and then this academy was the first time thing doing this, and they couldn't have done a better job. Kevin, Krista, thank you guys so much. The whole team over there, Alex Burns, and of course Bob and everybody else, Cody and everyone who worked on the track. You know, of course, Alex, Taylor. You know, I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of people, but you know, it was a huge team effort, and it was on point. You know, like one of the things that Krista brought and did that I thought was really, really amazing was like the before and after video. So I don't know, Toby had a lot to do with you know, the production as well. So I don't know, Toby, if I'm, you know, who actually took part in all that and putting that together, but that was awesome to see how much people improved from their first, you know, when they first got there to the final video that we did.
Yeah, we obviously with the brain and everything, you know, it forced us to kind of compress what we were supposed to be doing. So Saturday, I think Saturday evening, afternoon, we were supposed to do our second, you know, 3 laps, and then we'd have, you know, Saturday into Sunday to prepare those videos, you know what I mean, to present them in a more, you know, a more detailed way. But as you know, we got hammered on Saturday, so we had to do the 3 laps on Sunday, and then Krista just, you know, had to just do the best she could to throw out these videos. So, but you know,
yeah. Listen, it worked, and you know, adapting is something that team knows how to do really well. And
they said all they said a weekend was pivot.
Yeah,
they must pivoted like around like, you know, 720 times.
Yeah, and you know, yeah, like it was absolutely amazing. So I mean, thank you to everybody that came out. You know, really appreciate the support. I know a lot of my guys came out, and you know, we had representation for almost all brands out there, and you know, there was a lot of good info. In fact, more info than we thought. Like even our instructors, I know, picked up things here and there. I know Aiden was a big part of it, and he got to, you know, work with Adam Drake directly. But man, he drove a lot of cars. He drove everybody's car and gave everybody feedback on their car. So I know the radio swaps were like a huge part of it, you know? So yeah. And even CowRC SoDialed, like the SoDialed, everyone's got SoDialed subscription, you know, and the updated, you know, level. And Toby, I don't know if you can show us a couple pictures of the CowRC stuff that was sent out, but there should, yeah. So, I mean, Heath went all out, and everyone got silicone spray and electronic parts cleaner and degreaser. We had a whole stand set up with, you know, one of these guys all set up with the parts and chassis wash. So we were cleaning before the video shoot. Everyone was cleaning their cars, and I had this guy out, and we were, you know, using the mini jet blaster and getting everything nice and clean. And, you know, it helped. You know, it really helped. And then all the products were out too, so everyone got to try out all the different products. And in fact, I was on their show last night, guys. I was on the Sunday Live that CowRC does, and that was pretty fun. So yeah, shout out
stuff, yeah, that they had for us.
Yeah,
a little demo station. You can come and play with all the gear yourself, and that neat little spray bottle thing, which was a lot of people were trying that. So. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, those hide wipes are awesome. Use them for your hands, and then use them on your chassis. Clean up everything.
Take them to the Porta John.
They're pretty rough. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you tried them?
Definitely don't use the ones with the pumice. But
it's like a cat's tongue.
You're stopping the things often.
Yikes. But yeah, no, and everyone had a good time. We got to hang out, with every Schreff. I mean, Professor Schreff, man, shout out to that guy. I mean, he really put down some good info. He was definitely a highlight. And of course, we had Adam Drake there. Even I was learning stuff from Adam Drake and, taking everything in. It was, such a pleasure to be around him, to be able to work with him. Aiden was out there, doing this thing too. And it definitely helped. It definitely helped. He got to put forth everything he was learning as well as teaching. And, it worked out to be really good results.
What's up, Kevin? Carry on. Sorry.
No, I'm good. Thank you to everybody who helped out. It's basically,
yeah, it was a great event, for sure. Looking forward to next year now. I think you're just gonna, got a lot of exposure, and I think it's pretty unique, in the industry. And of course, if anyone's going to do it right, it's LCRC. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
From what I gathered, talking to a lot of people, it felt like it was almost one-on-one instruction a lot of times. They had a lot of help there. I know a lot of guys some guys were there that necessarily weren't even, I guess, part of the what's the word I'm looking for? Part of the staff, but they were just there to help. Right. I heard Mike Davey was pitching in, a bunch of guys were pitching in, just trying to help along the way, which is cool to see. Right. I mean, and I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, right? It's kind of, whether it's in a clinic environment or not. I mean, obviously that was the best scenario for it, right? But anytime we can make it easier for people to get into the hobby and want to do more of it, that's a good thing. So anytime you can help somebody out, it's a good way to go to shorten the learning curve.
We got Dennis.
Then I see Dennis Bruce on, and some people take the very long way around to learn how things work.
He just returned from Wicked, I believe. He's probably got some stories to tell.
Sportsman class.
That's right. Let's not go down.
I think you were right, Dennis. I do you.
Yeah, no, he absolutely was right to do that. I would have done the same thing. That's what we did down in Full Brawl. We just ran together. It was a good time. So those intermediate guys are way too fast.
Well, speaking of Wicked, though, it was kind of cool to see. And I want to go back. Sorry, Dennis, I didn't look at your results yet. So we're going to go back and look at them. But I watched some of the Truggy stuff. It was kind of cool to see Benny battle him with Colton, and Maddie was in there too. Is Matt? Would you consider Maddie a Northeast racer, or is she considered a Southeast racer? She's in Virginia, right?
I think so.
Well, she's been on the podcast, so
we're going to adopt her, right? She's officially
right. We'll interview anyone, right? I mean, let's face it. Doesn't matter where they are, North, South, East, West.
But it was cool. It was cool to see those three young guns battling, and I think all three. I think Colton flamed out right at the end. I don't think he even flamed out. I don't know. I'd be curious. I don't know if he's on, but I saw Colton come off with like 3 minutes to go in the Nitro Truggy race. But when they showed the guy in the pits, it looked like he was putting the engine out with his finger. Like it didn't flame out. Like I think something broke, and they were putting it out. They were turning the engine off. But
maybe it was
if Colton's around, anybody was there, I'd be curious if everybody knows what happened to Colton's car, because I was watching it and whereas Truggy. Not sure what happened there, but it was awesome to see those three battling. I was a little disappointed. Not disappointed. It was enlightening to see all the young kids. I think nobody was probably over 18. It was on the podium, an intermediate buggy, an intermediate truck. Thank God for the 40+ class for us guys.
That's right.
Can't compete with these kids.
Nope.
What else you guys want to cover? Should I go back real quick and look what we had? Let me see if I can find Wicked Weekend. You guys keep chatting amongst yourselves.
I don't know. Colin said Mike ran him out of fuel. So it was Dad's fault then.
Oh, it was out of fuel. I thought I could have sworn I seen him touching. Maybe they're just bringing it down the bottom dead center. That's what they might have been doing.
Got James Henry in the room, which is awesome. Good to see you, Henry.
What's up, buddy?
Hope that foot's feeling better.
Maybe we'll go for a little Nitro Caddy ad whilst you get your shit together over there.
Hope it's a long ad. It'd take me a long time to get my shit together.
It's a minute and a half.
It's a starter box adapter plate. I got tired of the pins moving on me with the boxes. And what this plate does is it affixes the four corners of your chassis to the starter box.
All right, so just want to quickly touch upon some of Dennis's newer products. He actually put it on his website, I noticed, but he has a next generation Nitro Caddy out, which I know he's been working on, and it's cool. I'm actually trying to upload a picture now, but you can kind of, as I understand it, and from just talking to Dennis, you can kind of pick your own colors, but it's fundamentally, it's a lot of custom 3D printed parts, but you can have a lot more tool holding areas now. You can have a dual fuel bottle holder. You can put all your a lot more drivers and attachments in there. All kinds of things that you would need at the pit, rather than having to run back and grab everything. So it's super sweet. It's slightly lower than the original version, so it makes it a little lighter. If and when I actually get this picture to upload, I'll be able to show you a quick demo or a quick picture of it too. But do you want to go back to what you're talking about, Tom?
Sure. Taylor's busting my stones about the Jeopardy music. I had enough time. I got through it. Let's I'm gonna take a quick look at Wicked Weekend. I was scrolling quick. I kept looking for D Brew, but Dennis a little further down. But let's see, Sportsman Nitro Buggy. I don't see. I'm gonna just kind of talk about names that we might know, but I don't think there's anybody here. Mason Montami, Breck Burns, Max Mejia, Jacob Reed, Carter Bright. That name rings a bell. But that was your top 5 in Sportsman Nitro. And there's a lot of classes. Intermediate Nitro Buggy, A-Main, Donato, Tridardi, who I know he was the one that was battling with Benny in the Nitro truck race. Looks like Colton finished in the 2nd spot. Mad Matty in 3rd, Benny in 4th, and Gabriel Santiago in 5th. So kudos to those 3. Kudos to everybody. I don't know Donato. I mean, got to be a pretty fast guy to be able to beat Colton, Matty, and Benny, but awesome to see those guys. I got to give a shout out to Ophir too. I love seeing Ophir at these big races when Benny's up on the stand getting his awards. He's a good pop. I like to see him. He's always supporting his son, so it's good to see. Sure. Sportsman Nitro Truggy, Carter Bright, Breck Burns, Bradley Major, Chris Harris. I'm going to put my glasses on so I actually read everybody's name, and Adam Raber. Let's see if there's anybody else here that we might have a name I might recognize. David Scott. Red was in there. Red made the A-Main. And I'm looking at some of the consistencies on these guys for Nitro is pretty damn good. I just saw that track. I guess you guys saw, if you guys watched any of the coverage, it got pretty bumpy out there. Oh, here you go. Dennis right now just kind of commenting on the same thing. Toughest track and roughest track I ever raced on. Didn't have suspension back. Broken every main. Did you beat Samoji at least?
Samoji.
Let's take a look quick. Pro Electric Buggy, Dakota Fenn took that one. Rivkin in the 2. Brandon Rose 3. Ryan Mayfield 4. And Fee in the 5 spot. Let's see. I'm just going to go through Intermediate Nitro Truggies. I know that was Donato again, but Benny finished in the 2 spot. Gabriel Santiago, Maddie in 4. Aiden Ridgway in 5. And I know Colton was there with them, but sounds like he ran out of fuel. Unfortunate for him. Long ride home. Talking to his dad about that, I'm sure. And Sportsman, Electric Buggy. Breck Burns, Gene Shrout, Don Hovde, Talon Abbott, and Will Taylor. And I think, let's look at 40 plus just because that's the guys I know. Billy Easton, Brent Thelke, Reggie Tung, Timothy Hobbs, and Santos Rodriguez. Ophir finished in the 10th spot, started in the 17th, found his way up to 10th. And then last but not least, we'll just real quick, Pro Nitro Buggy, Dakota took the win there. Brandon Rose finishing in the 2 spots. SVD in 3. Mason Fuller from 17th up to 4th. And Jonah Wilson and Esparco from 8th up to 5th. So pretty good for those guys. I got some other results we can go through too at trains and some of the LCRC stuff whenever you guys are ready. Oh, we got the picture uploaded.
Yeah, so that's my caddy that Dennis did for me. So you can see on the left side there, you got your fuel stick holder, then your double fuel bottle holder on the left too. I actually made a little adapter so you can put a beer can in there, so you can get your Coors Light. There's a smaller one for your Michelob or your other little, gay drinks that people like to have.
Where's the Jameson go, Toby?
You can turn upside down, put it in the fuel stick holder, and then just get a optic on the bottom there. And then on the side you got a radio holder. The Nitro Caddy sign there is an actual like a light. I believe that's kind of an optional thing you can get for the caddy. And then the top 2 kind of square sections, it comes with a little driver for your hex driver thingamajiggas, and then you can put your regular hex drivers on there, your igniter, and there's more on the right side. Kevin Swint needs a can holder. I'll hook you up at Mugen. You put your igniter, and then on the outside on the right, you can have a little toolbox with like glow plugs and wheel nuts and what have you. So it's very versatile. It's pretty sexy. So you guys should definitely look to get one of those. Reach out to Dennis or Nitro Caddy and get yourself all hooked up.
My man's always in the lab coming up with some new innovative stuff.
He is.
It is. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to talk about results for ProTech.
Well, do we ever cover Party Rock? I'll cover Party Rock quick, and you can tell me to stop. But
maybe
A-Scale Nitro Truggy, Ben Decker, Greg Harmer, Maddie finished in the 3 spots, Schreff in the 4, Brian Cruz in the 5. Nice, Brian. It's good to see. A-Scale Novice, Kenzie Hosler, Jaden Fuller, Evan Monty, my friend Tim's son, doing really well. Grayson Fuller. I'm not sure who AJ. Oh, AJ. That's AJ Muma.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at Adeline, top 5. Look at her go.
Yeah, it was her first podium.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty pumped.
Very cool.
10th scale, Scott Lenig, Jerry Tobias, Gavin Yoder, Travis Clark, Steve Flynn. I'll give a shout out to Braden Donnells. I know he ran some sort of Traxxas thing in a 10th scale 1 and came home in 6th. 40 plus electric bug. I'm not going to click it. If Williard has any podium here, we're just going to skip over it. No, he's 5th. Brett Blum. Brett also a new dad, so he's happy to see him do well. Ben Combs too. Hank Sjogren, who I don't know if I met Hank before. This is his first time there or not, but congrats to Hank. Hilliard in the 4. Matt in the 5. 40 plus Nitro Buggy. Tom Stober taking the win. Jason Hageman in 2. Jason's been coming on. He's looking really good. Williard in the 3. Drakeford in the 4. I should see where Drakeford started. Drakeford seems to have to play the bump game every time, but come Sunday, it all comes together for him. And Don Hilliard in the 5. Expert Electric Buggy. Harmer took the win. Maddie in 2. Ben Decker 3. Hardis in 4. And Aiden in the 5. That's a pretty good group to be in the top 5. I'm looking at 6, 7, 8, and 9. Vin, you got to be pretty proud of Aiden on that one, because there's it's like Murderer's Row there. There's a lot of quality in that field.
Yeah, that new car is amazing.
That's awesome. Expert Electric Truggy. Aiden took the win there. Gavin Vucina in the 2. Brian Cotta, good to see him back out there again. Gavin Yoder 4 and Gavin Nipple in the 5. Expert Nitro Truggy. Ethan Mechanic took the win. And again, we're still going over Party Rock. We'll come back to Super Cup in a minute. But Ethan took the win there. Joey Bourdon in the 2. Colton 3. Ben Decker 4. And Jacob Hardison in the 5. I'm just looking at some of the names on this list. I mean, God, even the guys towards the in the bottom of the A are still crazy fast guys. I guess the competition's getting stronger and stronger there. A-Scale Electric Buggy, Reed McMichael in intermediate. Ben Combs 2, Anthony Grenga, Greg Vucina, and Xander Niemond. Congrats to those guys. Electric Truggy, intermediate. Reed Frame. Reed's been doing really, really well. Scott Lenig in the 2, Dennis Brew in the 3. Ben Combs and Rodney Heil. And last but not least, A-Scale Nitro Buggy, Reed McMichael, Anthony Gregna, Connor Hooper, Caden Weidenhammer, whatever, Josh Andrews.
Oh, sorry.
So your top 5. That's again, I'm looking at some of the names that are on here: Carlos Cruz, Arturo, Ben White. I mean, all Ricky Garris. There's a lot of really fast people. Even Toby's in there.
What? Who's that guy?
Exactly. Well, I don't know how your race has been going, Toby. I missed the last ones, but I mean, the one before the May race, you were killing it. You were doing really good.
Yeah, last one was, well, it's kind of funny and not funny. That race was I was by 1 point points leader intermediate Nitro Buggy, and then Bartow was behind me. Maybe that was a race before the last one. Anyway, we both DNF'd in the main, but I DNF'd first, so he got the extra point. So we were both tied going into this last race. But I can talk about the results. This is an actual picture of what it was like out there with the Canadian smoke fires. So it was kind of fun. So it was like 1,000 degrees.
That wasn't an actual picture, was it?
No, that's from Blade Runner.
I know it was bad, though. I didn't think it'd be that bad.
You need to get out more, Tom.
Between that and the dust, hey, you never know.
Yeah. So Super Cup, intermediate electric truggy, Dennis Brew taking down the win from starting second. He was looking real good out there. Scott Lennox and Gloop, top 3 in intermediate electric trug. Old geezer electric buggy is Brett Brum, some guy called Matt Williard, and Billy Pappenberg, top 3.
Yeah.
Intermediate nitro buggy, Reed Frame, Bartholomew, and Dennis Brew. Dennis had a really good race. He started second, and he fell way back. And I was actually up to third, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat Dennis. And then I got wrecked, and then I ended up wrecking myself. And less said about the better, and Dennis recovered and came back with a great top 3 result. So Reed Frame, Bartholomew, and Dennis.
Reed was also a part of the academy, and so was Dennis, right? And
yeah, definitely. Dennis
the academy did really well. Pro Tech.
That was intermediate expert nitro buggy. Schreffler, I think he put on a bit of a clinic in that race. Got the lead real quick. Actually, no, it's a lie. I'm looking at results here. Lap 13, but he took the lead and took the win. Manchanda second, and Burnsy in the 3. Intermediate electric buggy, Owen Spriggle, Nick Leversage. Nick had a rough time in nitro buggy. I think he had a DNF in the single qualifier we got, and then his clutch shit the bed in the it shit the bed in the single qualifier, I think. So ended up in like the Z main, and then struggled to get up. Jason Bloom in 3rd.
That was perfect timing because he just he just queued in and said, "Hey guys," and then you started talking about him.
Oh, nice. Ethan Mechanic taking down Nitro Truggy. Believe that was pretty much the lights out first. No, he actually dropped a second. I think that Harmer was up there. That was a pretty funny race because 3 of Harmer's tires came unglued. If I'm not mistaken, he drove most of the race, but I think it was the right, left front. I don't know, whatever. Someone will probably chime in, but someone managed to pull off a second, even when his tires were kind of unglued, which goes to show how fast he is. And Schreffler in 3rd. That's Nitro Truggy. A couple more 40-plus old guys. Ciccarello started first, finished first. Navoso had a really good race. He came off the driver's stand. A happy little elf, which is fairly rare to see. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, the car was so dialed, brah," with his stuff. It was really very strange. And then that other guy again, Williard, he was 3rd. And then we have Expert Electric Buggy, last race of the day. Aidan Manchanda taking it down from 3. I think that was pretty good. Oh, he actually led the whole thing. Must have got a great start. The guy on the camera obviously can't remember. And Greg Harmer, he was on pole, finished 2nd, and Gibbler rounding up podium. So that is the Super Cup.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That was awesome.
Look
And
at that. We're blasting through content here. We done?
well, I want to real quick, if we have a second, I'd like to show everyone these new. I'm building. This is the B4.2 right here. This is the Euro edition. I'm actually trying the Euro edition with the short chassis, believe it or not. But Shell Racing just dropped these sweet. If you guys can see it, these vented rotors. And one of the things we were having was a little bit of brake fade. So this new car has new springs, new pads, and I got the Shell Racing vented brake rotors, which they just look so cool. But yeah, to stop the brake fade. But real quick, I'd like to talk about hub height real quick if we have a minute, unless anyone has any questions for me. It was one of the things in the academy that, like I was, it was promised to everybody that we were going to rewrite a portion of it, but I don't think it needs to be rewritten. I'm just going to go over it. And I know those guys are really busy. So, it was promised. And we did go over it, actually, episode 41 with Alex Burns. So if you want to listen to the whole thing about hub height, you totally can right there. But just to give you guys like a brief overview of hub height, it's not my favorite topic, Kendrick, but thank you. I'm going to make it super easy. Okay. I'm just going to go to the very end and give you guys the skinny. All right. So in 8 scale off-road, when your rear hubs are all the way down. Okay. So in other words, your hubs are all the way down. You have a low roll center. It's a softer geometry and it's good for bumpy, low grip conditions. It's basically more side bite. And then as you raise your hub height, you're going to get into more forward bite and a little bit less side bite, because you're raising your roll center. So you're doing the opposite. So that is going to do, like, think about your carpet car on carpet. You want to go to like a higher roll center hub because it's going to allow the rear to pivot and slide a little bit. It's going to take away some of that side bite and give you more forward bite, making the car less flippy and, making it easier to drive faster. So hub height in 8 scale, usually we keep it down, when, at least with Aiden, when he goes to the middle hub height, the grip better be really high, like the way it was before the ProTech Super Cup. And, that's when we go to the middle hub height. Otherwise, we're always running them down. So just wanted to just confirm that with everybody, make sure everyone's on, because it is a big change and it does make a big difference. So I highly recommend you guys play with it.
So Vin, question for you on that.
Sure.
I was thinking about like Wicked Weekend this past weekend, right? It got pretty blown out. Would it make sense then when the track starts getting like that, you don't want to catch an edge and roll over, you still want to be able to try to carry speed through the bumps, not have it hook over on its side? Is that a change you should look to make? And potentially, I guess in that case, you would lower the hubs to try to take some side bite away so it doesn't get edgy. Is that accurate or no?
You would raise it to the middle position to try and take some side weight away, but I would only do that if the grip is really coming up. If the grip isn't coming up and it's just getting bumpy, maybe you can try some other things like changing your shock pistons and your shock package and springs is going to be number 1 on my list. Dropping the diffs down so that, and also sometimes on some tracks you're taking away droop, sometimes you're adding droop. So you got to look at the track and see what's going to work best for you. Really good to do testing. I tell everybody, have more than one setup sheet. So having a bumpy track setup sheet is really a good idea. And especially for all of us at LCRC for this last race, we went from ultra high grip. Okay. We're talking like a 2.6 first sway bar, middle hub height, burning up tires, to now the track is wet. We're on greens. We're on super soft tires. We're on a low traction setup. And then as the day progresses through the mains, we're watching the grips come up, because Aiden's in the A mains. So we're just doing the waiting game and waiting for the grip to come up, asking people, hey, what tires are you coming off on? Asking the group in the group chat what they're doing and giving them advice. So it really, like if you change your setup tremendously, you were actually, that was the wrong way to go for when the grip comes right back up. So it's always good to have a high grip setup, low grip setup, bumpy setup, maybe even a wet track setup.
Gotcha.
Start making those setup sheets, boys and gals.
I teased Caruso for years. I always call him the professor. We have a lot of nicknames for Caruso, but he's a great dude. But he always kept a notebook. And I'm like, I don't need a notebook. I'm going to remember. And I'm starting to realize after forgetting race after race, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to follow what my man's doing. I write everything down now and what the change I felt, because I think it's the only way it's going to stay. I'm envious of people like you, Vin, Schreffler, Navoso, some of those guys I'm pitting with. Like, they just know what to do. But automatically, I have to concentrate on it because just to remember what's the next step.
Well, I mean, there's so much to know, and that's the thing about this hobby. Like, I'm really grateful to LCRC for doing this academy because, now, it's like you say, Tom. The rising tide raises all ships, and that's exactly what we're doing here. And the more people that know this information, the more they're going to pass it on to their buds, and they're going to see their buds do well as well, and their team do well. So it's a whole it goes all around. Love it. And it's one of the best things about this hobby sport.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Kendrick, we did mention So Dialed, but I hope it's working well for you. Kendrick was another one that went to the academy, and he was able to he already had So Dialed, but he knows how good it is. It's good stuff. And then So Dialed even gave us a sheet. I don't know if you saw it, Toby, but it's like this handout laminated, I'm pretty sure Krista laminated it, but it just gives you a quick rundown that, hey, this changes this and this changes that, and this is what you do for this. So it's really, really informative and good thing to have in your toolbox. So if you're looking for some setup help on the fly, just, it's double-sided, read both sides real quick. You'll get some ideas of what to change, what to try next.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got it here. Took a picture of it.
I want to talk about some upcoming events too. I don't know if you guys have anything you planned, but real quick, want to give a shout out. I had a chance. I got to try on road. I don't know if you guys tried. I mean, Toby, you've run on road, right? I know, Vin, you have an on road car. I'm not sure if you actually ran it yet, but I know you have it. I stopped by Jackson RC the other day. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Jackson RC, but one of the premier dedicated road courses with concrete curbs and everything. I got to go there for, I think it was the Awesome Addicts race, but Jeff Jones was on the mic and he was race directing. So I wanted to go support Jeff and watch some of the fastest guys in the country racing. And Vin, I think I told you earlier on the phone. Now I'm blanking on his name. The guy, the head of Roar, was there.
Clayton Young.
Clayton, yeah. So Clayton was there,
awesome.
But a lot of guys from all over, the country were over there racing. And I definitely want to try it. I was actually watching some videos today of RC Misfits. I know Eric Polanco's on. I was watching some of the stuff those guys are doing in the parking lot racing, but I feel like trying that, I mean, I'm talking myself into it, but trying a different genre racing is going to help me all around.
Yeah, you should come up to Park Lane during the winter, as like a winter, something RC to do in the winter. I mean, obviously you're running your own track, but it's a great time to, try a little on road, get a touring car. I know that one of your Sparko guys goes there. Bob, right? Bob Gap. He was just there. He does touring car. So,
yeah.
But, I mean,
hey,
I love him.
I'll hit it up with you, Tom.
All right, I'm down to go try it.
Yeah,
I got a Euro truck. I'm just content with that. But I just watching these guys on their lines and how precise they are, because my instinct is, all right, you go on the outside and come in, but these guys would stay, sometimes in the middle of the track or sometimes like 2/3 in to have the perfect line. And I know some of these guys were national champions too, so it's a little different how I'm going to drive compared to them. But still, the precision in which these guys drove and finding their lines was really impressive. So kudos to all those guys.
There it is.
That's the sheet you were talking about. So yeah, there's a couple of pages were in the academy there, right? Ton of good information. So
yep. Those binders she put together were amazing, man. What a great job. What a great job. And if you can put up Nick's comment, it's been awesome being able to really explain stuff to people when they ask questions. He has a whole new understanding. So that's just it. Like, now that Nick went to the academy, he was there, he learned a lot, and now he can pay it forward and help other people out, which, that's awesome, man. That's what it's all about, guys. That's what it's all about right there. What a good guy. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Dennis Sorty, loving the the eight scale, but still an on-road guy at heart. So we'll give it to that dude.
Yeah, we got to try it.
Yeah.
I got to try it. I shouldn't say we. We're all going to go though. What the hell? Toby will bring the Jameson. I may
Drive
need
me
it.
home.
Party. Now it's a party.
Yeah.
How about you?
On road and drinking, they go well together.
Any of you guys sign up for AMS? I got into AMS this year. I'm excited again. I went last year and loved it. Don't like the ride, but the event's awesome. Anybody else going down to that at all? Or
Let me see what I can do. And I'll talk to Aiden. That'd be great to get down there again. That's an awesome.
it's sold out already, but they still. I like how they do it. I don't know if you. Well, it sells out pretty much immediately. They cap it at 320 entries. So I mean, track time, you get a tremendous amount of it. But what they'll still do, and for anybody that's listening, and you guys as well, they fill in the heat. So say the stand's designed to hold, 15 people, and there's 23 people right now. They'll sell 7 more entries in that one specific class. So they fill the stand up, which makes perfect sense, right? It doesn't add any time, but they get to have as many entries as possible, but doesn't impact how much runtime you're going to get there. So if you guys haven't had a chance to get down, or anybody, it's a haul, but it's a good time.
I just want to pick up on Braden Donwell just mentioned that he didn't know we were having an episode tonight, but we had a few things going on. Tom had some personal stuff going on, and then we were all just super busy, so I had to push this back 2 weeks. So sorry, Braden, about that, but you're here now, so thanks for joining.
Yeah, and it'll be recorded.
This is true.
You can fast forward through me talking.
Likewise.
We got Kyosho Classic coming up. I know that's coming up at Trains. That's in 2 more weeks. I'm excited for that. I plan on it. I'm trying to get back out there again. So
yeah, I'll be there for.
I'm going to try to get up there Thursday night and practice Friday, and then be ready for Saturday, Sunday. I haven't been wanting to get the Trains all year, and just stuff seems to fall in my lap all the time. But no more excuses.
Yeah, I'll be there Sunday to stream all the mains live, so should be cool.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then we got Mugen Challenge coming up. I assume they're doing a new layout. I usually do for that. I'm curious what they come up with. I think Kevin was keeping some of his Kevin and Cody were keeping some of their powder dry with the last layout, trying to save some ideas for Mugen Challenge. Get all that new dirt, a lot more Play-Doh to work with.
Yeah, that's right. Kendrick just mentioned there's the Red Dirt Rumble down at Park Lanes coming up after Kyosho Classic. So my wife's going to really love me in first 3 weeks of August, because I'll be doing Kyosho and then the Red Dirt Rumble and then Mugen Challenge. So gonna have to.
Braden asked about Tilt Yard this weekend. I know a few guys. I have not gone to Tilt Yard, but everybody I've talked to says you got to get down there. It's awesome.
Yeah, only hear good things about it, and the layout's supposed to be amazing. And I know Homer puts on a good event, but yeah, I'm on that list to try and get there myself.
I think we need to go as a podcast, right? I mean, we should go support it. It's for content. I'll sell that to my wife. I can do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sold.
Wow, what else you guys got on your list? I think we covered a hell of a lot in an hour, but usually we have a guest in there, so we're kind of in pretty good shape here. And anybody that's listening, you guys have any topics you want to bring up? Now's the time. I think we're gonna start wrapping up pretty soon. Anything else on your guys' list you want to cover?
Yeah, Toby likes the shorter.
I think Toby's telling us what he wants to do.
Yeah.
No, I got the red eye last night, and I'm just completely out of it. So this is my first yawn. I've actually quite impressed myself.
All right. Cool.
And we're trying to kill a couple of minutes of time. I was just testing out a couple of things at the last 2 races at LCRC, which I was just trying to upload the picture of. Having some weird issues with uploads. Let's see if I can do it again. Here we go. Been running the LCG conversion on the Kyosho, which it's made by, and that is not it. I don't know why I cannot upload it. Made by a company called Cavalieri Carbon. I think they're based, a European company, but you can get them through Renault Savoya's page, RSRC. So something interesting to play with. I was actually surprised how good the car was. I can't seem to be able to show it. That is not it. Maybe
Well,
that's it.
while you're looking, I'm gonna.
That's it. Make it the right way. Carry on.
No, Jeff Jones was asking about split battery packs on A-scale cars. Is it better balanced? Jeff, it's funny. That's a tough one. I'd like to hear Vin's take. My logic tells me yes, it's going to be better, right? You're lower, you're flatter. You can move them around and try to get the balance of the car right. So to me, it makes sense. But I know some manufacturers, like I know, Hilliard actually converted his Techno to saddles, but the Techno was still running the one bigger pack and then the motor on the other side to keep balance. When I used to run the HB car, I actually put it on a scale and it was pretty well balanced out of the box. But no matter what you're doing, you're taking a battery that's sticking up, 3 inches and going to a shorty, which is now, an inch and a quarter, going to make it, has to make it better from a lower center of gravity. But at the same time, and Vin, I want to hear your take on this. This is just my rambling. I know with some cars in the past, we actually raised the wing up to help the car roll more. So sometimes having some weight higher isn't always a bad thing. Vin, what's your take on it?
You hit the nail on the head, Tom. So basically, when AE had the 4S, big pack in there, it kind of made it a little bit higher center of gravity. So yeah, it's going to make the car roll a little bit more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But then when you compare that to saddle packs that, like you said, you can move them forward and back, you can really hone in where you want the weight. What happens is that lower center of gravity kind of plants the car in a way where you can be more aggressive. So all in all, if you're a more aggressive driver and you're going to be and you want to go fast, you want as stable of a platform as you can, because you're pushing it hard. I see Aiden out there landing literally on one wheel, putting one wheel down first so that the car can absorb that landing and pitch him into the turn just the right way. So when you're doing stuff like that, every little bit counts. Like, for example, the new car, he went back to one of the things, like we did a lot of testing with the new 4.2. And for the Nitro car, he ended up going back to the 4.1 rear hubs because the roll center was too soft for how top heavy the car was with the Nitro engine in it. So because of that, he needed more support, roll geometry support. So, and especially from the rear, we wanted the front to still dive and turn in the way it was. But we had to make some decisions. And when you change something like that, you're changing a whole package, so it's like you're changing a couple things. And honestly, the way he navigated setup was totally eye-opening to me. I didn't know he could do that. And I think a lot of it came from, and I don't know, Toby, if you can post one of the pictures I put in there, but he was up there on the driver's stand and I couldn't even count. Like he was really an unsung hero at that academy because he just car after car, he was testing, giving feedback. And he was like, Dad, I helped so many people today and I just learned so much. It's not even funny. He's like, just by going through it and doing that. And the same thing was for me when I taught road racing. It was like every weekend you're doing 3 classes in a row, and that information is just getting driven in to the point where it's secondhand info. So then you get to roll that into your own racing. So to answer your question, I'd go back to the low center of gravity and I'd keep that split pack and then do things with your roll geometry to make the car as fast as you need it if you need it to roll a little bit more. So that's where the speed is. That's where the corner speed is.
Cool. Thanks, Vin. Tobe, did you get your picture uploaded yet? I want to see these carbon parts.
I did. There it is. So it's actually pretty cool. The base of the shocks had a little carbon insert that goes, where your shock would typically go into the arm. There's a little kind of oval shape piece of carbon goes in there, which the original shock screw holds in place. So then you mount the bottom of the shock onto that, and then you have a small LCG tower that drops right in. To the original location, same in the rear, basically. So Obviously we've all seen these LCG things flying around, and it's part of the fun of being an RC geek, right? It's just buying stupid things that are expensive just to try them out. So we got this. I work with Taylor. He helps me. He's my man. Helps me pit. So we threw it on there and went out expecting it to be a complete bag of dicks, and it was actually surprisingly good. Even in really low grip, I didn't really change much other than it needs a front spring in the rear just to get the ride height down. But I would definitely, if you're up for trying some different things, see how the car responds. I know Arturo's getting one for the Muse. I know they make them for all the other brands. But if you check out Renault Savoy's page, RSRC, they're based down in France, but it ships real quick. Of course, like everything else, you get hit with tariffs and other bullshit. But, it's fun to try different things. Performance-wise, it was very close to the, I don't think you lost anything. I'm not good enough to drive to tell you necessarily better or worse, but definitely wasn't worse. And the other thing I'll be messing with, which I figure we could just talk about real quick. I'll share my screen. Share screen. Soda. You guys have heard about Soda?
Yeah, these shocks are pretty cool.
Yeah, so a company that's actually based in Australia, sodarcproducts.com. So they make these shock inserts, basically. That they have one for all brands. So obviously I have the Kyosho variant, but you basically take out the existing piston. The kit actually comes with its own highly modifiable piston that's in a D shape. So it's kind of like the MIP. You can have a valve on the bottom, different types of valves. The holes you can modify on the piston itself with tiny ass little set screws. And then in the actual insert itself, you've got kind of 3 different zones they describe it as. You've kind of got your how do they describe it? Let me just scroll down a little bit. Your bottom out zone, your ride zone, and your top out zone. So obviously you can tune the shock at different areas. So if you land in a jump, you want to change the characteristics of how the oil flows during that part of the how the car is on the track. If you want to adjust kind of in the middle, like they call it the ride zone, where the buggy spends most of its time, and then the same for like bottoming out. So you can configure these inserts, change the different inserts to allow more or less oil to flow. So and then when you actually hold the shock and you squeeze it, you can actually feel the oil kind of hitting these 3 different zones. It's actually pretty cool. There's like 10,000 different. If you're kind of a geek, you like to geek out and do stuff like this. You can change all these different setups. So right now I'm running like the bumpy setup. But at the last LCRC race, I felt like my ride zone was a little too heavy. So it seemed to be like bouncing a little bit. So I changed out to a black insert in the rear, which is, I believe, a little thinner, allowed more oil to move around. And for talking to Stobo, I thinned out my rear shock a little bit and actually really changed the car a lot. So fun little thing to play with. It ain't cheap, but again, what is cheap if you like playing with stuff? Check them out. They're based in Australia. Just like everything else, you probably pay tariffs, but cool stuff. Check them out. sodarcsolutions.com.
I know a few guys that have tried them. They look pretty cool. It's nice to see some sort of innovation, right? Needs to see. I'm happy to see the LCG stuff where you see a little more cars starting to lay the shocks down more and doing some different things.
Yeah, I really didn't think
that's how we all grow.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a kind of a pointless exercise, but I'm going to do some more testing again at Mugen, maybe. Although it's not going to be a lot of time to actually get track time to test. So, yeah.
Are they doing the normal clinic at Mugen Challenge again? As too?
Yeah. They just posted a link today. Well, they're not. They're going to launch it. It says if you check around, go on their Facebook page. There's a post on there when they're going to start, selling the tickets on LCRCraceway.com. But typically, it sells out in seconds. So definitely get a chance. Be hovering over your mouse whenever that's going to be launched and try and get in. It's kind of like a mini academy. Really, you get to hang out with Adam and have him drive your car and do all the things, and then you get to go on the track first of all too and run some practice before everybody else goes in line. So
Speaking of run your car, can somebody put up Nick's comment here at 8:33? So there we go. Congrats, Nick, and reach out to me because I'm gonna help you set that car up and make sure that you do really well at LCRC. I'm gonna give you the hot setup. We did a ton of testing with that car, man, and we have it on lock. Like I said, I got the new one right here. This is the short chassis version. We got the long chassis version. He came in second last time, Aiden, and has a really dialed setup for that. So I'm happy to share that with you guys.
Sweet.
Cool.
all right.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, definitely. It's been we really blasted through this. I'm quite proud of us.
Well, we probably took longer than normal talking amongst ourselves. Usually we have a guest on, right? That kind of takes up 30 to 45 minutes of it.
I think
But
the shorter podcast is good.
Yeah, I mean, we've managed to bullshit for a good hour and a quarter here. We got Jason. Jason just jumped on. He's on YouTube watching us.
Buddy.
What's up, Jason? We're sort of wrapping up here a little bit, but glad you joined. Definitely rewind and listen to all the awesome things we have to say.
Shout out again to Park Lane Hobbies, Nitro
Yes.
Caddy, Cal RC. Appreciate your guys' support.
Absolutely.
All good stuff.
Wait, real quick before so Cow RC has a new product. Okay. It's called Simple Sonic. So it's actually juice for your Sonic cleaner. So it just dropped. Use the NERP code and please go try it out. Heath is going to send me over a sample to try and tell you guys how it is. But yeah, sorry. Had to just jump in and tell you about that new product real quick.
Sweet.
Yeah. Give it a shot.
All right, we wrapping this thing up.
Yeah, we are.
All righty.
Past my
Well,
bedtime.
appreciate everybody jumping on, hanging out with us for a little bit, talk a little RC, and I look forward to seeing everybody at the track real soon.
Cool. See you guys soon. Thank you.
See you guys.
Like,
Later, fellas.
subscribe, and share, please.
Yes, those things.